give you a bit of the background. The Golf Manager of the Year award is now, I think it's in its 10th year. This time we had 111 nominations, which is by far exceeded anything we've ever had before. From those 111 nominations, which we sat down about 4 or 5 months ago and went through, we came down to a finalist group of 6. And I have to say that was difficult in itself. The process then is that Debbie Pern, who was last year's winner, or I, with one of the sponsors, will go and visit that golf club, visit the nominee or the nomination with the people who have nominated them. The sponsors, it's probably an apt time to mention them, are Tonic Golf Insurance and Club Systems, How Did I Do? So I'd like just Alex and Richard, if you could just stand up, please. These are the 2 people who make this competition possible, so show of hands then. After we visit those people, we then brought all the nominees to Conway on Monday evening. And the view is that we sit down to dinner with them as a group, we talk to them as a group, they network with the sponsors, with each other, with us. Following that, yesterday we actually played golf, well, we went out there, and we played some golf. And then yesterday, the interview process commenced in the Dragon's Den type interview. So we're now going to run through each of the nominees, and Debbie and I will introduce you to each of the 6. Debbie? So initially, if I can just talk about the first one that I visited, and I visited with a gentleman by Barry Dyer, was we visited Terry from Harpenden Common. Here he is, good looking guy.
Seen better days.
Yeah, absolutely. But Harpenden Common Golf Club, Terry took it over a couple of years ago after a process of being chairman, then took on the manager's role in an unpaid capacity. And the main thing was to build or rebuild the clubhouse. This is on their opening day, and as you can see, well enjoyed by a lot of people. For those of us who went there, 10 months now it's been open? 10 months? 10 months it's now been open, and a great facility. But Terry works hard securing the finance, getting the money together, and dealing with the local authority. Bearing in mind, this is on greenbelt land. So not an easy task. But that clubhouse was then opened by the mayor. And if I can just point this guy out, you may recognise Ken Brown off of the Open, the Golf Channels, and so on. Ken is a member in Harpenden Common. Very often brings stuff back from Augusta, the Masters, wherever. And as you'll see, it's all on the board for members to see. Harpenden Common is now up and running. Terry's doing a great job there now, and it's going forward. The next person we went and saw was Emma.
I had the pleasure of going to see Emma along with Barry Dyack, who is from How Did I Do? And Emma really just has golf in her blood. She's been born and brought up with it. She's a PGA professional and has taken over the reins at West Essex, having played there as a child. Emma very quickly discovered that there was quite a lot to do at West Essex and really went into it pretty heavy-handed to start with. She's changed an awful lot of what goes on. She has designed the website herself and has just created another website for events. She has doubled the green fee income. She has produced a junior program of which she operates with the juniors, and she has a conference facility, events, ballroom facility that is second to none. It's, I don't know if any of you have been to West Essex, but the views from that room are incredible. And they are now doing weddings, and the events business has really taken over. Interestingly enough, at West Essex, they franchise out the course. Now that may surprise some of you, it certainly surprised me, I've not heard of that before, but it works extremely well. It's the same as franchising out the catering, so it's worked really, really well. You'll notice that we don't have any personal photographs. That was my fault, I forgot to take any.
As you'll see from the next pic, or one of the next pictures, I didn't forget to take any photos. I'd like to talk about Simon. Simon Smith is Aston Wood Golf Club. Simon said to us when we went to visit him, bring your Wellingtons. And you think it's either one very wet golf course or we're in trouble. But we're in the middle of a building site. Simon's been manager or been involved with the golf club for 20 years. And is only on his 7th owner. And one of those owners was the members throughout that period. So Simon Smith has seen the ups and the downs of Aston Wood. Simon is an ex-pro, still got a pro license, and still plays, well, reasonable games with Emma and Alex. We actually did the draw to put the 2 pros out with Alex, who plays off of
As many as he can get away with.
I thought we were that quite well. But this is Simon. Simon is also into martial arts. Simon is into boxing. And if you can see the speed of his hands there at the moment, you see obviously doesn't stay still for very long. I think this is his promoter, Mickey Duff Ray. Well, it looks like his promoter. But whilst the golf club looks excellent there, this is being changed around big time. And Simon has been very instrumental in how that golf club is being developed. And they're redoing the function room, and they're putting, I can't call it gym, or Simon says I cannot call it a gym. It's a, what's it called?
Golf conditions.
A golf conditioning centre. It's a gym. That's what I'm telling you. But behind that, they're doing the function facilities. As I've already said, Simon is into his boxing, his martial arts. So part of the new function facilities is to host boxing events. Why not? Different. And the Asian wedding market. So Simon is looking at it completely different than what many of us will. The other side of what they're doing is a new state-of-the-art teaching facility, which as you can see is under development and lots of Wellingtons needed for here, but will be a great facility when it's open. Simon also works very closely with the Aston Villa former footballers, and they do a lot of charity work and bring a lot of business into the golf club. So I think he's looking certainly outside of the box. As he says along here, Simon once hit a 382-year high all-in-one on the course. We didn't do that yesterday, I'll tell you. But it is going to be one hell of a facility when it's done. And a lot of that leadership is coming via Simon.
Trevor Atkinson at Filton. I went down to Filton in Bristol with Alex Ray and spent some time with Trevor. Trevor came from a retail food and beverage background, and this was he's been in golf for a very, very long time. He's been at Filton for 7 years, and in that time has come up with a very, very clever concept of reducing the fees for new members to get some more new members in, and also to increase the existing members. He did that so well that he had to sell his Concorde and buy an Airbus. Bob put the presentation together. He took the catering in-house as well at Filton, and as part of that carried out a £25,000 kitchen refurbishment. and the catering figures have more than doubled in that time. So dedicated to his work is Trevor that he stays over in the clubhouse when there's snow, 40-mile round trip to get home, so I believe that was the case, you stayed over one night.
My last visit was to James at Bradford Golf Club, and Richard and I went to see James at Bradford Golf Club, and we made the plan that on the night before we would stop and have dinner and meet and maybe have a few holes of golf. So we stopped at a place called Hollins Hall and played golf, 10 holes. And afterwards we sat down for dinner and I said, how far is Bradford Golf Club from here then, Richard? Oh, it's about half an hour. About half an hour. And then being Richard, he's got his tablet out and his iPhone and everything else. And he's doing it, he said, actually it says 900 yards. We were right next door. Well, thanks for that, Richard. Bradford Golf Club. I'm obviously from a southern area, so I'm thinking Bradford, what a great place that is. James went in there 5 years ago, 2009. A young manager going in after somebody who'd been there for a long time, setting his ways, and all of a sudden they've employed this young manager. Bradford Golf Club is a very traditional private members club. And that's the problem that James had to face. It was a club that was looking tired at the time and needed to be brought on. So the big thing that James had to take on board was a big, massive clubhouse refurbishment. But again, in similar sort of vein, had to raise the money and had to get the members to buy into this and created the finance on which to take it on. So it created loan notes for a number of members. And how much did you raise? £366,000 to get that clubhouse refurbished. As you can see, it was a good day. Richard knows where he is now, 900 yards away from where he's staying. But what an excellent facility, and again, well managed by a very enthusiastic manager who's taken it on and taken Bradford Golf Club on. I then spoke to the head greenkeeper when James is away. And they're also looking at £170,000 redevelopment of the golf course. And again, James is involved in that. I'm not going to be honest, I tried to catch him out and what's the acreage of the golf course, what's it? He knew everything, he knew the answer to every question. He also, well, I won't say what that was about. Not saying.
Brighton Golf Club up there near Newcastle, Michael Rutter, Richard Peabody and I went to visit Michael, and our journeys got off to a good start. I got the train down from Aberdeen and Richard got the train up, and we then got on a little train that took us out to Brighton, and being townies, both of us, just fully expected that there would be a taxi at the door outside the station. Yeah. Not a chance, not a taxi, not a person, nobody in sight. So how do we get to the golf club from here? Eventually passed somebody walking their dog. Oh yeah, just walk along the river there. Just walk up that path and you'll come to it. So we're now walking, me in my suit and my high heels, up this little path, up alongside, and we said, oh, there's a golf course. No, that wasn't the golf course. Michael has 5 golf courses that you can see from his very course. You can see one up there, one there, one there. So he's got huge competition down at Brighton. And again, like many of us, struggling for members, struggling to get people to come and play at his course as opposed to some of the other courses. And he joined the club from running his own business, and he was chairman of the club and then took over as secretary. And one of the very novel things that I think he does, and forgive me for sharing this with everybody, but to increase his society outings, he offers them a fully inclusive package. And in that package, 9 pints. Have you doubled it or trebled it?
It's been interesting, but it's worked.
I think he told us yesterday that in a visiting party that he allocated 350 pints, only 150 were drunk, so he's quid's in already. So well done on that, he's done a great job.
We did have a power cut at the time.
His management style is full of communication, people-to-people person. When we were at the club, several members came and spoke to us and spoke very highly of Michael. And I think that's really why he was shortlisted and why he's made it to the final six. Sorry, I'm not going. It's a lovely clubhouse with lovely views of other golf courses.
So that brings us to who has won Manager of the Year this time round. For those of you who were around in the hotel last night, you may have noticed the judges at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I went to bed then. Apparently they finished their discussions and have come up with a winner just before 2 o'clock this morning. So how close is that? So I think I'd just like to make sure that everybody appreciates the work that the judge did and these 6 people. So if you could just show your appreciation. What we'd like to do before we announce the winner is just ask each of the nominations or each of the finalists to come forward. We feel it's appropriate to make sure that they all are rewarded for their efforts and what you've done for your golf club. Trevor? Trevor Atkinson, Felton Golf Club. Emma Clifford. Simon Smith. Mike Rutter. Terry Crump. Finally, James Washington. So that leaves us just to announce the winner of this year's competition. As I said, these were up to 2 o'clock this morning, so I haven't got a clue what's in this envelope. Manager of the Year for 2014 is Emma Clifford.
This is my fantastic team, fantastic leadership, who made me very welcome when I returned there after growing up, playing my professional career there. And they've made this possible as well. So I'd like to thank all my members, my directors, my captains, my president, everyone at West Essex, and you guys. Thank you all so much, and thank you all for bringing us to such a lovely venue. This has just been remarkable. And also, I'd like to say well done to all my colleagues. I have 5+ friends. We were up laughing until 1 o'clock last night in the bar, which is a fantastic networking opportunity for us. I know that we'll all remain very close friends, as I know everyone else will as well. And thank you very much for Tonic Girl, How Did I Do, and Club 2000. Thank you.